Look, you guys, I'm all about helping you guys out in difficult times. So when it comes to senior pranks, you've crossed the line. Now, I've talked about this before last season. A few seasons ago, we did senior pranks, but that got canceled last year because of the pandemic. There were no senior pranks this year. You know why? It was because of the pandemic. We'll get to that in just a minute, but there is an update now on that woman who threw the soup in the face. So, let's get to the update. We have people out there that just want to. I mean, this girl who threw the soup. That's not. That's not very nice. You shouldn't be doing that. Period. Mind you, this was the same woman I told you about on Inside Edition. And if I threw soup at someone, they would automatically be pressing charges. And it's not just the only one. There's been a couple. Like mix up. And I saw a clip 3 days ago that was updated that there was going to be an arrest. And this was investigated. Higher count. So what really needs to happen here is that you shouldn't be doing this, period. Otherwise, people will just press charges on you and you'll end up in jail. Now let's move on to our senior pranks. I'm done this half hour. We're focusing on a lot of senior pranks. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'm gonna try to focus in on all of them. But really, if you've been in school, you've no doubt seen all this senior pranks happening, from the good old desk on the roof, foils, styrofoam, doorstop glued to the floor. But what if you actually realize that stuff could get you in a lot of trouble with the law? It's exactly what happened in this first case. I mean, if you're a senior, you realize that if you keep doing this, you're going to get yourself in a lot of trouble, meaning you won't be able to walk the stage. And schools don't take it too far. It's the school that decides the punishment. You don't get to decide whether it's the school that decides. Don't put yourself in their shoes and say, lighten up a little. If the school says it's taken too far, it's taken too far. So let's look at the pranks.
Remember this, fortune favors.
Senior prank or criminal act? That's the question tonight as Auburndale police officers are trying to find out who applied glue to more than 20 door locks at the high school.
I want you to take a look at some of these photos. The locks are now completely ruined. And ABC Action News reporter Ryan Raish has the evidence and the surveillance pictures that caught them in the act. Ryan?
Yeah, it appears these vandals or pranksters in this case use something like this. This is called Steel Stick, steel reinforced epoxy putty. Look at that, world's strongest bond. You can find this almost anywhere. I bought this for $6. It's kind of messy and easy to apply. The thing is, once it dries, it's almost impossible to undo.
Take a look.
And you can see the putty in it right here.
Kids may see it as an innocent senior prank, but when 23 locks are filled with epoxy glue and rendered useless, your joke probably crosses the line.
It went beyond a prank to an actual criminal offense.
Auburndale police are now trying to track down the vandals, believed to be 2 teen boys seen here on these grainy surveillance pictures. They arrived on campus late Saturday night and got busy filling most of the locks around the building where seniors have class.
In this case, I know it seems pretty harmless to put putty into a lock, but when that happens, somebody's got to come clean it up, and that putty's going to harden in there, which is what happened.
Sunday morning, a teacher arrived to get some work done and couldn't get her key in. Monday, a locksmith spent most of the day trying to make repairs, but determined nothing could be done. All 23 locks need to be replaced. It'll cost roughly $100 a lock.
I think it's terrible because somebody has to pay for it.
Parents today chalking it up as kids being kids, but going too far.
I think it's a senior prank, but I think they did not think it through.
Crime Stoppers is now offering a cash reward for information leading to an arrest. Investigators say it will be up to the school on whether to press charges against what may be 2 kids just days away from graduation.
It was funny to them, and it's probably funny to some other kids, but it costs money to fix, and that makes it a crime.
All right, we did a little experiment of our own right before we went on the air. I applied some of this putty to an old cookbook I had laying around. I'm not going to use it anymore. It's almost hardened already. This was just a few minutes before we went on, so you can see how hard it is to remove. It's possible that the kids didn't know it would be that difficult to remove this stuff, but it's still a crime and still a big mess. Live in Auburndale, Ryan Raish, ABC Action News.
And if you didn't see, that cost like over $2,000. $100 to fix. That's a lot of money. You understand? You understand it. You may have crossed the line here. When you do pranks like this, you've crossed the line. There's more senior pranks when we come back, including a little form, mandatory blank inspection. Then we're going to look at 62 students that were arrested after the prank, and some seniors who were disciplined because of the pranks. We'll be right back. Welcome back. Tonight we're focusing on senior pranks. I did some episodes on this on my old show. Now we're dealing with them again. Why? Nobody seems to get the message. None of these seniors seem to get the message. You can't be doing this. That's crossing the line. What were you thinking? Blah, blah, blah. What did your parents teach you? No one taught them anything. So here's another from 2 years ago, Fox 4 Now. And it left them in $20,000 in damages.
Purdue University Global. Apply now at purdueglobal.edu.
County school students say they went all out for the school pranks, but they might have gone too far, like way too far, like more than $20,000 worth of school damage too far. Thanks for sticking with us for Fox 4 News at 6, a full hour of local coverage. I'm Patrick Nolan.
And I'm Jane Monreal. The Hendrick County School District says dozens of students participated in this prank, but the pranks didn't stop there. Nope. Fox 4's Terrace Miles explains how these pranks happen and the punishments that go along with them.
Wow, they went too far. 2 schools and 2 off-the-wall pranks. And it all started with this prank. It reads mandatory penis inspection. Yeah, you're reading that correctly. And this prank was actually addressed to all male students, staff, and faculty at LaBelle High School.
It was something funny, but at the same time, it was something scary.
And parent Kenneth Carrion, he found the humor in it, but he says it's something serious too.
You get some high schooler hacking into the system and doing something like that. It's something that you think about it. What we doing wrong for our security?
The LaBelle Dean of Students did send this email to parents apologizing for the prank, but exactly how students pulled it off is something the district is still looking into. And then there's Clewiston High School. They're actually $20,000 lighter because of a prank that was pulled here. The district says 37 students spray painted sidewalks and buildings and destroyed curtains in the auditorium.
Graffiti.
That resulted in suspensions and fines, and we're learning some seniors might not walk on graduation. Now parents and students are fighting to get that chance back.
Because this is something that I've waited 12 years to watch my kids do and not walk across the stage and graduate.
As days passed, I realized my mistakes and understood why everyone was so ashamed of me. I brought shame to myself and to my family, and I've come to ask for my seat back and my speech at graduation.
We have reached out to the school district for comment and we haven't heard back, but we will be sure to keep you updated on the decision on whether or not the school district will allow those students to walk at graduation. But for now, reporting in Hendry County, I'm Terrace Miles, Fox 4, in your corner.
All right, thank you, Terrace. And
You crossed the line. Spray painting, that's graffiti. And graffiti also equals vandalism. And 62 students were, and also none of these people understand. I mean, possums and 16s went to jail. There were 62 students in this one that were arrested.
18-year-olds were arrested.
I mean,
New information now. It was supposed to be a big joke, but dozens of Teaneck High School students ended up in tears after being arrested for a class prank. CBS 2's Weijia Zhang is live in Teaneck, where many teenagers were just arraigned on criminal charges. Weijia?
Chris, students tell us this prank happens every year. It's almost a rite of passage, but it's never ended like this, with students being arraigned on charges of criminal mischief and burglary that could result in jail time. From senior class pranksters to prisoners, 62 Teaneck High students were rounded up in a line, handcuffed one by one, and hauled away in police vans after allegedly trashing their school.
Numerous desks, chairs were dragged out into the hallways. You couldn't make it through some of the hallways. The urine all over the hallways, the grease that was applied to the doors. There's a large amount of it.
Officers responded after a burglar alarm went off just after 2 a.m. to find throngs of teenagers wreaking havoc inside. Some ran away, but 38 juveniles and 24 18-year-olds were arrested.
Do you regret it?
Yeah. Clearly a walk of shame for every student we saw leaving the police department with their parents. This pair sprinted away, sweatshirts pulled over their heads. Another teen covered her face with her hand.
Did you think it was just going to be all fun and games?
This senior was too choked up to speak, so his father talked for him.
I know he thought it was fun and games, but it's real life. It's not fun and games.
While the minors were allowed to go home, the 24 adults of the group faced a judge, many arraigned in their Teaneck High sweatshirts, holding in tears. Back at school, custodians scrambled to clean up so classes started on time. Some parents say proof the prank was not that bad.
It's a yearly prank that's done. The police should not have arrested all these kids.
And now the Bergen County Prosecutor's Office will determine how to go forward with all the charges while the Board of Education decides how to discipline the students at school. Live in Teaneck, Weijia Zhang, CBS 2 News.
So how does it happen when kids get disciplined for these pranks? We'll tell you when we come back. We're back now. We're discussing senior pranks. Now, so far, I've looked at 3 stories about these pranks happening and end up in vandalism and costing a lot of money. But before we move any further, the question is, how did the students get disciplined for this? Well, they helped clean up. Instead of having the janitors come in, they help them clean up, do a little defacing. Like if you're a senior, you lose the right to walk the stage. And parents, if you think it was a prank, it should have been you need to talk to your kids. If you're going to take them off on pranks, you need to make sure that it's harmless and fun. Not violent and costing us taxpayers a lot of money. Pay for your own mistakes. We don't need to be paying for our own mistake, for your mistakes. You need to pay for your own mistakes. There's a phrase I live by every day. When you choose the behavior, you choose the consequences. And in this case, when those Valley students, they were arrested for that senior prank. Take a look.
A group of masked teens sneak into a Valley school to pull off a senior prank, but instead end up in jail.
Take a look at these pictures showing some of the damage at Desert Oasis High School.
Now tonight, a warning from school police as the school year wraps up.
13 Action News reporter Masa Saidi spoke with parents and students. She's joining us now live from the school tonight with more on what they have to say about this. Masa.
Steve, Trisha, it was absolute chaos here last night. Police were here. The cameras inside basically showed the kids gone wild. Well, tonight, some real consequences for those students.
There is a poster right here that was torn up. Those posters were torn up.
The vandalism visible even outside Desert Oasis. Pictures students shared show the glue, glitter, and graffiti up close.
It almost felt like an attack towards our student council.
A burglary at nightfall. CCSD police say up to 40 kids with masks running the halls. Tonight, the school not confirming how the seniors got in, but the talk on grounds.
That they stole the janitor's keys or they hid out in the bathrooms and stuff until the janitors left.
We're told doorknobs and stairs were oiled up, causing more than just a mess.
I know our principal was there from 11 at night to 7 in the morning. And she actually ended up falling down the stairs from the baby oil.
Did you have a senior prank when you were young?
Yes.
Nothing like this. This local mom only remembers Senior Ditch Day.
They've definitely changed over the years, that's for sure.
With the school year ending, senior pranks just beginning. A reminder to consider the consequences. Jail, fines, a ban from graduation. The punishment, some believe, fits the crime.
What they did is they put someone else in danger. You're defacing and public property.
Destruction of property, burglary. In total, there were 8 arrests, but tonight the investigation continues to find those other kids. Reporting live, Masa Saidi, 13 Action News.
Masa, thank.
And again, I agree with these people. This isn't the movie Fist Fight. But what about the students that are going to fire for a racist prank? And I don't tolerate racism. Take a look from a couple of years ago before COVID.
Imagine the future that you can create with a degree from the Los Angeles Film School. Get real-world industry experience.
Thank you for joining us tonight. New at 5, a social media post has an Ahwatukee High School under the microscope again. A tweet sent out saying that this year's senior prank at Desert Vista High School would feature students trying to sneak through the school's front gate as if it was the U.S.-Mexico border.
And it comes after another controversial post involving the school. Team 12's Antonia Mejia joins us live here in Studio 12A. And Antonia, what is the school telling you?
Good evening, Mark. District officials tell me they learned about the post yesterday and immediately started investigating, but they still don't know exactly who made that post. And tonight, some students aren't holding back on what they think.
All in all, it's just really a stupid senior prank that they're trying to do.
Diego Anaya is well aware of this Twitter post by an account called Desert Vista Senior Prank. It says, "Attention all seniors. New senior prank will be happening next Monday morning at 7:30 in the parking lot. We will be acting like the front gate is a border in New Mexico. We will have cops searching cars, window washers, and people selling tortillas."
I don't think people should be reacting so heavily to it.
But another senior here thinks otherwise.
That shouldn't be the prank. You know, like we do a prank like with silly string or something like that, but that's just overboard.
So you thought this post was racist?
Yes.
The school district says the post is now deleted, but because more than 50 students at the school handle the account, school staff says they're still figuring out who exactly wrote it.
This post was absolutely inappropriate,
it was not representative of the class of 2019 at Desert Vista.
Just 3 years ago, Desert Vista suspended 6 girls after this photo of them spelling out a racial slur with t-shirts made its way onto social media and almost immediately went viral.
I can tell you they're an amazing campus. They do so much to create a culture of inclusivity, and you just walk the campus during the day and you can see that there are people from all walks of life.
The district says a prank will not be happening on Monday morning. I'm also told the school does not support or sponsor the Twitter account in any way, and it's now been deleted. Mark, Caribe, back to you guys.
All right, Antonia, thank you.
That must have been hacked. But there have been some good pranks like that. You hired a mariachi band to follow you around. Okay, well, that's good and all, but too much loud noise could really hurt your ears. Couple more pranks to go. Now imagine a PowerPoint happening. You're sitting there and someone hacks into a PowerPoint and shows porn. Watch what happens.
Your democracy lasted, then you might.
Because I hate pornography in our schools, and I do hate pornography as part of a senior prank.
Only on ABC 15 right now, a senior prank at a Valley school that administrators are not laughing about.
A naked photo flashed to Copper Canyon High School's entire senior class. Noelani Graff is live tonight. And first off, Noe, how does this even happen?
So word on campus is they're watching a PowerPoint and some tech-savvy student must have had an app on their cell phone that let them use the Bluetooth to turn it into sort of a TV remote, and it changed the picture. Administrators don't even know who did it, but they have already decided part of the punishment. 4 years of hard work in the classroom about to pay off. Graduation in sight for the class of 2016. At Copper Canyon High School, the seniors getting major kudos at an assembly for doing better than any other class.
The principal was talking, telling us how great we were, and our failing rate is actually decreasing.
Mid-speech, students say the projector was hijacked. Suddenly, they're sitting in on an anatomy lesson.
And out of nowhere, the screen, there's a male's
just all this stuff was out. They zoomed in on the picture so you could see everything.
Lots of laughs followed, not surprising from a group of teenagers with raging hormones. But here's the thing. Now, a group of minors have been shown pornography, even if it is just a picture ripped from the internet.
Not everybody's 18, so seeing this is something that other people may not found funny.
As quickly as the picture changed, so did the principal's demeanor.
They heard that it was a Daniel, so they got together all the Daniels and they reported to the front office.
Whether it was a Daniel or someone else, the students have been warned. Administrators will now change the view for the prankster on graduation day to watching from the audience instead of the main stage. So I'm still waiting to hear back directly from administrators on this one, but by all counts, it sounds like they moved really quickly on this. They called parents at home. They sent home a letter just to keep them in the loop with what was happening. It's still not clear, though, Stephanie, what other punishment the student who's responsible would face.
All right, keep us posted on how it develops. No, hey, thank you.
Apologies, and a lot of things can happen. Back at the moment. In the near future, there's a new senior prank happening this year, or back in or here next year. We'll keep you up to date. But for now, as always, this should cut me a break this Friday going to Saturday. See you again for cut me a break Saturday and Monday. Good night, everyone.